Hey guys, I'm here to show you what I think will happen during the winter of 2024-2025. Um, so we're going to take a look at a few models and see what they say. First model we're going to look at is the Jamstack. Again, let's take a look at winter as we're analyzing here. So here's our sea surface temps for winter. And now we're mainly looking in the Pacific and the Atlantic to forecast the winter. Mainly the Pacific, kind of like a 60-50 fraction. So again, we have a lot of neutral waters here over the equatorial Pacific. So in other words, it's not too warm, not too cold, it's not a La Nina, it's not an El Nino. It looks neutral. With that being said, you tend to get neutral conditions. In other words, it kind of cancels out the La Nina or the El Nino. So this is basically a non-factor, which means other factors will have to contribute to this winter in terms of the overall influence. We'll take a look back at that in a second, but let's take a look at our precip anomalies for winter. And so it has dry in the south, wet in the northwest, and a little wet in the Great Lakes. Nothing too significant though. Taking a look at our 2-meter air temperature anomalies for winter. Again, we have a lot of above average temps here in the west and in the central and the south. So this is showing a warm winter off the Jamstack model, but keep in mind this is one out of over 20 major long-range forecasting computer models for this winter. I do want to take a look at let's do NOAA's seasonal forecast for this winter, because again, NOAA is basically synthesizing what the models are saying into their own forecast. Is what many forecasters do and pretty much do, period. Let's take a look at winter. We're going to go for our temperatures first. So again, this is the month of December and the month of January and the month of February of this upcoming winter. And again, today's date, just in case, when you watch this, it is July 26th of 2025. So this is showing a neutral temperature pattern for the majority of the USA for the winter. Again, we have a lot of warmth here in the southwest, in the southeast, and along the east coast. My guess as to why they're saying this is because the neutrality of the equatorial Pacific waters. Again, you're not getting that La Nina, you're not getting that El Nino, so you're going to have pretty much a neutralized temperature pattern, nothing too extreme. Taking a look at January and February and March, just to take a look at the latter half of winter, the later part, again, it's much of the same. So this is good news because NOAA is not forecasting like an overall warm winter like the Jamstack model is forecasting. So, and I tend to agree with NOAA because they are a mainstream weather source. They tend to go with the more average of the forecasting models. They're not going to go from one extreme to another simply because many people look at it. So let's take a look at WeatherBell and their models. WeatherBell is a great site. I have no affiliation with WeatherBell, but I would recommend it to any enthusiastic weather amateurs out there to subscribe to weatherbell.com. It's a really great site for weather enthusiasts. Let's take a look at our CANCIPS model, and we're going to take a look at our temperature anomalies for the season. So I'm going to fast forward this to, if I can, to winter. Okay, so here's winter off the Canadian model. So again, it's not like the Jamstack. It's even colder than NOAA's, so it's kind of This is the coldest model run we have for this winter, so that's an option too for this winter, is the CANSIPS model. Here's November and December and January, and then we go to December and January and February. Many cold areas here in the Wisconsin area and Michigan and Minnesota, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, Montana. So this is showing a decently cold winter. And then from January and February and March, again, an extension into the winter. It's still showing that cold. So this model is definitely picking up something quite significant. What that is, there's too many factors involved to say exactly what it's picking up on, that it's gaining so much cold from its forecast. Let's take a look at a few more models just to compare the different modeling. We're going to take a look at our CFSV2 model for winter, if it has it. Might not have it, and it doesn't. So we're going to take a look at our European model for this winter. Here's the ECMWF model for this winter. We're going to take a look and see if it has the seasonal. And it has very close to winter, but it's not winter, so this is kind of a non-negotiable. But here's November, December, and January. And again, so to discard this is not winter, but this is as far out as the models go. One thing I do want to take a look at is our NAO. Now this is a major factor come winter months, because it's essentially called a teleconnection, which forecasts the winter for the eastern half of the USA. So when this is positive, things are warm and dry. When this is negative, things are cold and snowy. So with that being said, you want a negative NAO for those who love the cold and snow in wintertime. So keep our fingers crossed that the NAO goes negative and stays negative for wintertime. And that is all I have for you guys today. That is my winter hint number 8. Make sure you please subscribe and share my videos, and look forward to sharing more long-range weather content with you all to come.